The Founders Podcast. Listen to the stories of how everyday extraordinary people start amazing businesses. Hear how they overcome the odds and find success in the entrepreneurial world. The up and down, the good and the bad, and everything in between. And now, your hosts, Jordan Hansen and Brandon Meinert.
And Matt.
I'm Matt.
Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Founders Pod. My name is Brandon Meinert, joined by Matt Lamb and Jordan Hansen.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Yes, follow them and us on LinkedIn.
Hey, I'm on LinkedIn.
I laugh because I'm not that active. But yeah, Jordan's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, Jordan's on LinkedIn.
I'm somewhat active.
Yeah. No, I'm.
I wonder how long
I'm on
LinkedIn
there.
will last. Forever?
I don't see it going anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Some people are like,
Boycotting?
that's very important to them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's
Yeah,
huge. I mean, dude, the tools. It's not just LinkedIn because using it as like a social media platform, pretty crappy.
Will there ever be a single social media that combines Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn?
I don't think so.
Crazy would
It'll
that be?
work just how we thought there would be one streaming service.
you gotta decouple.
Dude, at the
So
very
cable.
beginning,
At the
Netflix
very-
was it. It was
Netflix
like
was king.
it was.
You
Pretty,
know-
had a lot of content on there.
Somebody tried to invent that.
A single streaming service.
A single social media service.
Woof.
Woof.
Ryan.
Ryan and Michael from the,
temp.
office. Yeah.
The temp.
Around the 10th. What did he do even in that?
Was it like it was faxing, email, texting, phone call, voicemail,
Like pager. I don't know if it
yeah, pager. They just got
Probably
you.
had tweet in there, didn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, it's a smart idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
I think it's more notification rather than a platform for everybody to.
That's a good point. But it would have grown.
I think it had
It had
momentum.
incredible potential.
They're like,
Well-
we have a buyer.
It was the university, wasn't it?
Washington Health, Public Health Fund or
Yeah.
something. Washington
Because they
Uni-
wanted the
Washington
Domain.
acronym.
Domain. Washington University Public Health Fund.
Woof.
We're woofing from the United Commercial Insurance Studio.
Yeah.
Give us a call, 208-229-8222. Business insurance. Question for you, gents. You guys have been spot on some of these questions we've asked over the weeks. and
Really
months.
good.
I mean, really, really
Batting
impressive.
a thousand here.
Killing it.
Yeah.
The fastest man-made object ever invented and used. What is that? The fastest man-made object that traveled the fastest.
It's got to be like a railgun, right? Yeah.
Like that someone rides in.
No.
Just like a bullet, whatever, or a spaceship, anything like that. A rocket. I would say it's got to be a railgun.
I don't know.
If you count, unless you count lasers, but
Atom bomb.
like you're saying, like the
things
shockwave
move?
from it.
I don't know.
Yeah. Are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking how fast a railgun projectile is.
It's really fast.
What's a railgun? I don't know what a railgun is.
It just shoots out slugs of steel. It's just like it shoots out like a big rail, a steel thing, and it just projected so fast it just punches through everything.
Is it it's not a railgun.
There's something that's faster.
Something else is fast. And I don't know if you think this is a cheap response, but
Well, come on, what is it?
it's not that. It's something.
Can you give us a hint?
It's space related.
Does it only work in space? At the speed?
Like a photon
Yeah.
blaster.
Yeah, only works in space.
Oh, okay, so you have no friction. So you're
Yeah.
there's in a void. I
Yeah.
see. I didn't think
Vacuum.
about that. Yeah, what's it? I mean, at space they're traveling. Aren't they at like 44,000 miles per hour there?
It's faster. It's a space probe.
Is it? And it's
430,000
launched
miles
from
an
like
hour.
the space station, or is it launched from Earth?
It's launched from Earth. Well, it's launched into orbit and then it travels to wherever
It
it's
just
going.
has enough velocity to escape the atmosphere,
Yeah.
and then it turns on.
So the NASA Parker Solar Probe, which achieved a top speed of 432,000 miles an hour while it was orbiting the sun.
And so that
2022.
it's getting some slingshot from the gravity of the sun. Then
Yes,
too.
it is.
So it's shooting over to the sun,
It's using
and then it slings around it. Huh?
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Railgun.
What's railgun?
Railgun was 5,400 miles an hour, which is
pretty fast.
pretty.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
that's not even
fast.
close though.
Yeah, I mean, you're 420,000 miles an hour off. But that's somewhat cheap, too, because if a railgun was shot in space around the sun, maybe it would be.
Right at the sun.
And, getting some slingshot.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting question.
400.
I wonder what the fastest man-made object on Earth would be. Probably a rocket.
No way. It's the railgun. I don't know. Look it up right now.
I'm on it.
What do you think, Matt? Vote. I don't know what can go faster than that. 5,000 doesn't. I mean, a bullet goes not that close. No way. Not even close.
But it's always, I don't know.
5,000.
You search for fastest man-made
They
object.
use rockets to break free of Earth's gravity,
Yeah,
which
but-
takes a speed of 25,000 miles an hour.
25,000.
Yeah,
So that's way faster than
a railgun.
the heck. Why is the rail? I mean, it's just too expensive to use that. That probably is too expensive to use that for like
The
weapons.
NASA the X-43, 7,000 miles an hour. Space
Okay.
shuttles, 17,000. I'm going to try to find things that are in. Oh, an iron manhole cover. During a nuclear bomb test called Operation Plum Bob, Robert Brownlee was tasked with designing a test for limiting nuclear fallout from an underground explosion. A device placed deep in it, capped with a 4-inch iron manhole.
And it shot the manhole in the air.
125,000 miles an hour. How'd
Well,
they
that-
even
Matt was
measure
right
that?
then with the atom bomb.
Yeah, Matt was right.
The shockwave of it. Got out
I
there.
was right.
should have said manhole.
Yeah, why didn't you say manhole?
You should have said man.
Stupid.
It's kind of silly, Matt.
That was dumb. You had it right there.
It was right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of traveling distances,
Yes. I'm ready to go 5,400 miles an hour.
could you?
No, not in live. And no, I mean, you have to have,
What about just teleport?
that would be nice. Yeah. But teleport, there's no way teleport's going to happen. It's only going to, it'll be recreation of you. Which, is that gross? Kind of.
Because it won't
A
be
recreation
me.
of Matt. That's kind of like the Prestige.
Yeah, exactly. I think that right there is more likely than teleportation. Now, we could do wormholes, right? If you can, if I don't know, I think that's more close than, anyway.
Brian Cox said that wormholes are so unstable that if they're worried that if you pass something through it, the whole wormhole thing collapse.
Right. We have to, I mean, there's some adjustments still. we refinements,
All right.
of course.
Quantum computing.
That's right.
What do you think? Question to you, gentlemen. This is the subject of today's mini pod. What do you think the future of transportation, personal transportation specifically, will be in the next 10, 20, 40, 80 years?
Yeah, this is a great question. Zach asked me this question on Sunday. We were driving. He was like, Dad, do you think cars are going to change much in the next, 20, 30 years?
Because they haven't, they have
You're right.
recently
You're right.
with electric vehicles, right?
From where they were when we were born to where they are now, it hasn't been crazy.
Not crazy. Recently, yeah, there's been more.
'Kay.
But it seems like
But again, isn't
With
that like
batteries
most
and-
of it's like technology in general is like this, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
hockey stick style, right?
Yeah,
Because it's
you're right.
accelerated.
It's
It's like exponential.
I think, and this is the statement that I'd like to make. I think,
Wait, I want to write down my answer, see if it matches.
okay, write it down.
Or you just trust me, I guess. Write it down.
Put something down.
don't
and I'm going to
don't
tell
write
you.
manhole cover.
We all have to travel on a manhole. That's like a cartoon. You sit on a manhole,
Like
it
Jetsons, right?
explodes
They're
you.
like,
oh, that's a
You just, like,
UFO.
hover.
That's a UFO.
I'm standing on it. I'm standing
It's not
on
a
it.
UFO.
That's a
it's
UFO, dude.
a-
Did you see
Unmanned
that David Grush, the UFO whistleblower, said that
But it's not UFO anymore, right?
UAP
UAP.
whistleblower said that there are instances in the United States history of interacting with. Don't laugh at me.
No, I'm
don't
just-
laugh at me.
Wondering if we can get through a
Don't
podcast
laugh at me.
without aliens. But
did last one.
We did last
appreciate it.
one.
I know.
I'm just saying that he said that between the interactions of aliens and the United States government, there have been conflict to where U.S. military men or women have died.
Was there exchange of gunfire?
That's all he said. That's all he said. That there have been people that have died interacting with
You
aliens.
shoot at an alien? That's not.
Maybe trip on them or something, though. They didn't say how they died.
Could have shot. He could have. If they're chasing them down, they're chasing them and one shoots.
Wait, who's chasing
Yeah.
who?
And
Dude,
who's
look
shooting?
at the phenomenon. If you get by James Fox, he should sponsor this pod. If you look at the phenomenon, James Fox, there's a number of stories of Air Force pilots chasing down these unidentified flying objects. If they ever turn around, or if one shot, turn around, pop, pop, pop. All right, did you write it down?
I wrote it down.
What was the question again?
Oh, I'm
He
going to
wrote
make a
down.
statement. I'm going to make a statement. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
what's your statement? He
about
wants to
the
know
future
what's your-
of
Future of transportation.
personal transportation.
My statement on
Fully-
future of personal transportation is this: we are closer in technology to the horse and buggy today
Yes.
than we will be to the mode of transportation 40 years from now.
Yep. Right now, we're closer to the horse and buggy than we are to whatever we're going to use in 40 years. I would even
And
shrink
the horse
that
and buggy
possibly.
was like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would even shrink that. I think
20
30
years, 30 years.
Yeah, maybe.
whatever happens in the future, though, I hope we're still saying horsepower. That's,
I'm on
Dude,
my.
it's a standard.
my-
it's a standard now.
I'm on my manhole cover. I'm like,
What horsepower that baby got?
Like horses, what does this have to do with
No,
my
look, yeah.
manhole cover?
It's a standard, bro.
That's
It's
right.
a universal standard.
That's
And they're like, can you imagine the horsepower of a wormhole?
Like what?
And
tight.
you're like, it's
Horses,
what's the
7 million
exponential?
horsepower on that baby. New in.
Dude, I'm super. That's actually one area I'm really excited about
Can you give
because
me examples? I have,
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a specific example.
Like
What do you think
fully
it's gonna look like?
automated vehicles.
I think you won't be
driving.
driving them. You won't be maneuvering on them, which is good, in my opinion. I think maneuvering them will just be recreation only. It won't be like organized transportation, just recreational areas only.
Like designated, you can't drive on the highway.
You can't drive
park.
on the
It's
hallway.
a car park.
A
when
car
you-
park. It's like skate
Or
park.
or like way
Do
out
some jumps.
way out in an because there's airspace in the United States, and it depending on the population dictates the height and the category of the airspace.
Okay.
And so there's airspaces in every city that are like, hey, this is unpopulated, so it goes down to 700 feet or 1,200 feet, and you can do whatever the hell you want, basically,
Yeah.
in that airspace. You can fly whatever you want, and UFOs do it. They don't even register with us.
They don't need to tell anybody.
That's right.
Anyway, so examples, in my opinion, are going to be both above and below the Earth, below the surface of the Earth.
So
excuse
you're
me.
not saying flying?
I'm saying flying, yes, but I also think flying can be really complicated because you have a lot of different
weather.
factors. Yeah,
So
and
many, weather. I think even like visual traffic.
exactly.
Like people are gonna be like, I don't want freaking a wall of cars up here.
Yeah, that's true. But you're in a 3D plane. And what's so difficult about our current mode of transportation is that you're all on a 2D plane where you're sitting in a linear, format driving home or to work. But you can't be 3 levels above the car in front of you. So in the air, you can. You can have different altitudes above it. So that solves a huge problem there, right?
I don't.
But
Or create some.
or
40,
create some.
40 years. I'm 40 years about flying cars. I'm not there.
I think we are. I 100% think we are. And I think we are in that
Set a
if
rem-
you had...
hold on.
Huh? Set a what? Set a note?
Remind me to check on flying cars in 40 years and tell Brandon that I'm right.
Oh. 40 years is 2063. July 2063. I will be 80 years old.
It's Brandon's birthday. Well, it depends on when this comes out.
Prior to the
Oh, we got 2
release of
days.
We
this.
just had Brandon's birthday.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good time.
And 80-year-old Brandon, are you going to be right or are you going to be wrong? It's going to be a sad birthday if I'm wrong.
Flying cars.
I think flying, and it's not going to be flying cars. It's going to be
Yeah,
it's
sure.
going to be drones.
Yeah, you're saying,
Yeah.
whether you call it cars or not. I know what you're saying.
And there's going to be different altitudes for taxis, and there's going to be different altitudes for personal,
Like the
and there's
Fifth
gonna be
Element.
different altitudes for delivery.
Yeah. You haven't seen The Fifth Element, probably. Neither of you, probably. But anyway, lots of flying cars. That same thing.
Yeah.
And
I just remember Back to the Future, they take that exit in the air.
that's it. Would be
Stupid, so dumb,
Right.
so dumb. But weather's a huge problem there.
Who's going to regulate all this? This is also kind
Well,
of
the FAA would have to.
It's a government.
It sucks.
They're
That
going to
sucks.
suck.
bad.
They're going to suck.
I don't know, but you can't stop it. So it's not. They're going to be like, oh, you just can't do it at all.
But someone has to.
Someone
right?
has to regulate
Otherwise,
it and set rules, and that's good.
automated. Because is it going to be your own vehicle you get in, and then
Who-
you just program where it goes, and then it takes the route?
Who
and you
regulates? Who regulates the streets?
Yeah, obviously there's the government, but it's a little different because you're going to choose like your route. Even
the police officers do, right?
right.
Well, anyway, I just think it's on your phone, and you just say, "Hey, I need to go to this place," and they're like, "Okay, this is your
It's
office.
just going to take the route.
It's just gonna come land, whatever it is, pick you up, incredibly
You don't think
quiet.
you're gonna have it in your? Because otherwise, I mean, especially if you're in a more rural area, you're gonna. I think people also have their own vehicle.
Yeah, I think it's great to have my own, but I don't need to have it at the parking lot.
Right.
What if it's at a charging place away where
Yeah.
you don't have to have big parking lots?
The self-storage unit that I own.
There you go.
Yeah,
A self-charging.
What does Fred the farmer do when he has his own vehicle that can go wherever, and he comes to a place where they're
It's the same thing.
maybe
it's the same thing.
I'm seeing okay.
I think it's going to be super quiet, energy sustained. I think the energy capacity is going to be enormous, where it could go weeks. Like you could even get in potentially and go to New York in a short time frame, or the travel capabilities of going from Idaho to London same day are going to be basically only held back by your human capability of physically being able to handle it. You know, I just think
The car is gonna be able to go 5,400
yeah,
miles.
because
an hour.
all that's holding you back is energy, right?
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
we talked in the previous episode about going to Hawaii, right? And that increased because we thought technology and booking was
Yeah.
more accessible.
What if transportation?
Now
was more
transportation meets that, and it's like, hey, now it's not just finding tickets or cheap tickets. It's can your vehicle get you there and you can go.
and it could lead to the redistribution of population across the United States.
'Cause you
Like,
travel.
what if you could get to your
You
job
can commute
quick?
to your work. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and if I live 2 hours away now, what if I could get there in 15 minutes or 20 minutes
Right.
in the future? Now I can live in a rural
Work on
town.
McCall and still come down.
Yeah, exactly, and safely travel to work or equivalent,
Or
whatever
just
that
live
is.
in your car
The-
and just live wherever you want to
How big
go.
is this car?
yeah,
It's
what
an
are we
RV,
talking
right?
about?
Yeah, no, it's like
It's
Well,
your
you got an
R-
RV with a personal transport vehicle.
it'd be the RV now version.
So you have
of-
like a mothership.
But don't you think that one big problem holding us back with transportation is energy?
Yeah. Most things that were being held back by energy,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
So if you have the energy to fly, the power of the whatever cell energy battery that you have in there, and it could fly, use that energy for a very, very long time. Well, now you can do a lot of stuff.
yeah.
You can do a lot of stuff.
I still don't know about flying cars, but I think my point, self-driving car, my prediction here was self-driving cars, and the fact that it's probably going
I
to be too
just think-
expensive for people to drive their own vehicles. They can't drive their own vehicles.
Okay.
Because it's
insurance. You're
insurance.
saying
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Self-driving cars are going to be
I think
better.
that there will be a computer that has enough computing capacity to coordinate the transportation of hundreds of thousands of people in a region to where
I don't feel like the
it's
cloud's a good word for it, though. It's
Hopefully
like
it's a-
bigger than the cloud.
sure thundercloud.
needs to
Like
be-
a thunder.
What's bigger than a cloud?
Oh, like maybe a thunderhead.
It probably needs to be like a decentralized computer though, because you shut down that one computer, man.
Oh yeah, you're right. I would love that. Decentralized.
I don't know,
That'd be awesome.
but yeah, you're putting a lot of power
You're putting
in one.
yeah,
place.
and you know you don't need to like the problem. One of the problems with flying airplanes now is you have to be so high up there.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be that high up there to fly from my home to office. You know, and if you could figure out a way to re-grid electrical, or if homes get more, you know, you can get rid of some of these electrical grids, then you're just flying above the tree line.
But wouldn't that be kind of annoying to you? Like if you have your house and you're like, I like to sit back, you look up at the sky, the mountains, and suddenly, you know, how many people do we have in the valley?
What if it's just over roads?
Okay, there's going to be, I mean, if you're talking multiple levels, that's, I mean, I can.
It's gonna block.
It's going to block. How many roads are between me, my house, and Bogus Basin?
I don't know.
Like 1,000?
Okay.
And so that means, and then they're all up 20 stories?
Yeah. What if they're quiet?
I can't.
Yeah. I'm just saying, what if it's quiet?
It's a
and what if
quiet
it
view
saves you?
blockage.
It's,
But what if it's a better mode of transport? It's not like they're gonna be like, oh,
I
we
just
don't
think
want
that
to do this because Jordan can't see the
yeah,
mountain.
that would be
Well,
a bummer though.
no,
I
but
agree.
honestly,
I never thought
it's
of
a
that.
real thing that I
You're
don't.
looking
I,
up and you're
I
like-
think a lot of people are going to say quality of life. Like people get pissed. Like there's whole cities that say Washington D.C.
but
you
it
can have a
won't
house.
stop progress that way.
But Washington is. Could they have skyscrapers there? Yes, they have regulations though. That they say they can't build a building bigger
Right.
than a certain height because they want to be able to see.
Sure.
Yeah, you
But
have
it's
to
not a
explain to your
permanent
kids
structure.
like there used to be a mountain, or there's a mountain over there. You just can't see
Can't
it.
see
There's
it.
cars always in the way.
Cars
Just
always.
put it on your
Or
VR.
planes. Yeah, you can build whatever.
We
mountain
should
you
just
want.
stay in our houses and just not leave, and then
That would make me.
that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. I would feel crummy. I go out there on a walk, and I love looking at the mountains. And
Would
like,
it
oh,
just
I
be a
can't.
constant? I mean, I just.
It
I don't-
would. You have 500,000 people.
When
Like,
I'm not training to be a pilot anymore. I stopped
What?
that.
Really?
Yeah, I stopped that because it was too expensive for me.
Okay.
FYI.
Okay, but will you revisit it? Probably.
I would love
Yeah,
to in
probably.
the future. Yeah, I would love to in the future.
We should talk about paramotor soon. Yeah.
Okay. When I'm up in the air, and Grant, totally different. when you're flying and I have like my glasses on, so my vision is as good as it gets for me, and they say there's a bogey off your 6, whatever. They say, hey, there's another plane at your 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's at this elevation, and they don't say a distance away from you. And dude, you have to squint and look. Both of you guys have to be looking for this tiny. The plane's probably bigger than my car, but man, I could barely see it, and it's pretty far away. Now, granted, these roads are closer to your house, but I could barely see these things in the air. Even an A-10 airplane, like it's a little bit bigger, easier to see, moving faster. But when they're far away, they're very difficult to see these smaller objects.
How many cars are on Linder, though? We both live on Linder, you and I both.
A lot. But what if they're... Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying, but it won't stop progress. There's just no way. It's just too convenient to say, I'm going to get in my car and have to spend tires and gas or whatever that is and sit in traffic, or... I don't know. Or maybe it's a bicycle that can just hover at 50 feet and it's, you know.
Yeah, that would be a little better.
Yeah.
Right? Something a little, I mean, even then, could you have multiple levels? Maybe. But yeah, I think if you're, I do worry about airspace, I think I think it'd be a
Airspace
really
is a big problem.
pushback. Yeah.
Airspace is a problem. And maybe there's an easier way to build tunnels underneath the ground
Maybe.
for like mass transit from Boise to New York. I don't know. That's also kind of scary too, man. That like claustrophobia in that is like,
No
I think
thanks.
Elon Musk was saying, you know,
It won't stop progress.
Won't stop it. No, people are
won't.
going to do
I
it. But
will
he
do
said
it.
there's like 90 levels that you can go down
And the Earth, yeah.
in the Earth's surface, that it's like you can go down that far and have potentially 90 different tunnels going all over the place. I don't know. That's scary. If you were on level 87 and something happened and you couldn't get out, that would scare the crap out of you.
I mean, you're just as down on level 3, though, right?
Level 3.
Yeah, you
It
wouldn't
just
know the
feels scarier,
Also-
though, when you know there's like 86 tons of, 86 levels worth of rock above you.
that you can't get out of.
And isn't there air pressure? Isn't there pressure? I think pressure still exists as you go down.
Yeah.
There'd have to.
But I mean, I wonder how, because if
I don't know
you're
how that works.
86 levels, like if we have less pressure on us, gravity on us than people on sea level, right?
It's not gravity, though. It's pressure.
Atmospheric pressure.
Atmospheric pressure. And I don't know exactly how
Yeah.
this works, but
Well, anyway.
anyway.
I'm
we'll
super
talk about that when we do our science podcast.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the future of transportation.
So bad because every time I drive, I want to leave Treasure Valley.
every time driving
Almost.
here,
Yeah, every time here for sure.
I just
Come
think
up Eagle Road.
it's so inefficient
I hate it.
because you have to go zigzag your way to a place.
And you stop. I understand. I agree.
And if you are in constant motion, A to B, like as the bird flies, right? Like direct to your location, you cut off so much time and effort.
Yeah.
And that time adds up.
I don't know. I wonder what the next big innovation will be in transportation.
What would you say is the last? What was the last big innovation?
Self-driving cars?
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. For self-driving cars, for sure. Now
But do other cars catch up to like Tesla or whoever else is doing it?
almost
Oh,
every
yeah,
single
you have to.
every single modern high-end vehicle has a lot of like huge self-driving.
Yeah, but when they do that, what does that look like? I mean,
I hope. So, I'm sorry.
Well, San Francisco has cars that have been running for years, self-driving vehicles. I think taxis
With no steering wheel.
with
right?
no steering
Yeah.
wheel, right? They're like taxis, public transportation, delivery vehicles. They're working in there.
What do you think about this? Because I was watching this study done, and they're like, the problem with traffic is when you're at a stoplight, and let's say there's 20 cars, it turns green. Did I tell you about this?
I think you did. Yeah, and it was
where you're supposed to like follow super close and just
No, you're all supposed to go at the exact same
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
at the exact same speed and all that stuff. And so if you all had self-driving cars and they could somehow communicate with the light and the cars around you, but everybody has to be on the same page. There can't be a rogue driver at that point. But you could get so many people through that light.
right. Because what happens?
Safely.
It's a rubber band instead, right? It's like this goes and then
It's like an accordion.
It's
It's
elastic.
an accordion. Yeah, that's a better way to
Yeah.
say it. An accordion. Uh-huh.
And so if you could have self-driving cars and they could talk to the light to where everybody that's going opposite direction of you stopped because they knew the light was going to turn red. So they all stopped in the right time. And then we all left at the exact same time. You could just pound like 50 cars through that light.
Yeah. Quantum
Whereas
computing.
Quantum computing, dude. Don't.
Will save us.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
That's your-
Quantum computing, I'm like, that's my hope. But if it doesn't solve problems, then I'm.
But you're
Peace
just
out.
saying with quantum computing, it's going to tell us where to go.
I'm saying it has the computing power to solve a problem that we cannot solve.
but
in the
we'll have
most
to
efficient
listen to its advice.
You have to implement it.
It's
Yeah.
going to do all the coordination with it. It's going to be able to talk to handle all the vehicles, everyone stopping at the same time, making
Well,
sure
it could design the structure, and then it could implement the structure.
organize, yeah.
Yeah.
Coordinate.
It's like, this is how you do it. How would you, like, if you inputted a problem and you said, compute this problem until you have the most efficient solution. And let's say it took a year to do that. It still could just go through millions and millions and millions of possibilities till let's say, hey, this is what I found out. It's the most efficient way to use the grid that you have. And I'll help implement it because I have the computing processing power to talk to how many cars are in the treasure in Idaho. Let's say
At once, you got to think
let's say there's 2 million cars in Idaho. I could talk to 2 million cars at one time
yeah.
and compute where they're going and know spatially where everybody else is at.
Right.
Pretty fascinating.
Right. And really,
Crazy.
an accident should go away, right? There should never be an accident.
Yeah,
again.
I mean,
How does
yeah.
that handle like when your car breaks down or blows a tire?
You
Does
know
it
what's
drive you off to the side of the road, or what
Yeah.
if it's like
That's
disabled?
interesting. Yeah, because
It,
then
it
accidents
has to have
could happen.
feedback. Yeah, it has to have feedback on the tire that the tire broke.
Certainly, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but then accidents could happen, right? But barring mechanical problems like that, accidents shouldn't happen.
You know what's interesting about an electric car? I think that's a big advantage over an internal combustion engine is the amount of parts that
Yeah.
can break down. There's an electric motor and that's it. And
yeah, there's no
brakes.
pistons, right? All these
Right.
things, right? Yeah.
Versus, a timing belt and, all the
There's a
items
lot of
of
pieces, carburetor,
yeah,
all this stuff that's in there. Yeah.
everything, the alternator and everything that's involved in that. And so, I think cars will reduce the amount of weaknesses they have in it to the point where it basically may just be a tire. And then once you get rid of the tires,
Are we going to like Mario Kart things? How are we
the
moving?
shells.
Like the hover, is what you're saying.
Dude, I think hover or magnets would be incredible
Yeah. Magnets, yeah.
because you reduce road wear and
Right.
tear.
Uh-huh.
You reduce, the need for rubber in tires, which is
We're saying the magnets
Horrible
are going to
for
go off
the-
trace metals or something in the,
sure.
yeah, 40 years. Maybe.
You have a reminder on your phone to check.
It failed, but yeah.
Google will be an actual person walking around.
That's
He'll
it.
come slap me
He'll
in the
come
face.
over and be like, you were wrong.
You are wrong.
Slap. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap.
I will dread that day.
Yeah.
What am I going to be wrong about?
The fact that we're having flying cars in 40 years.
But what if they don't call it a car? It's a drone.
No, yeah, car,
Flying vehicle.
flying public transportation,
Flying
not
bicycle,
public, flying
snowmobile,
personal transportation.
Yeah.
whatever you want.
Snowmobile, you're just
Flying.
I don't think that would be satisfying at all.
satisfying.
Flying jet ski.
Because a part of the snowmobile that's kind of satisfying is like kind of carving through that
Yeah.
physical.
Right. Yep. Dude, I was thinking paramotors, right? Have you guys know what paramotors are?
Is that the
Is that the like drone thing?
It's like paragliding, except for you're like, it's like the guys
on
that
a
run.
parachute?
Yeah, you have a big fan
Yeah.
behind
Right.
you. And you either run or you have a little trike, and you just run and just drive and it goes,
And then you fly.
you fly
Yeah.
around. Right. Now, you're not doing pilot lessons, but what about, come on, do you consider that? There's no regulation because they're so light.
Yeah. And they're lower than,
They're-
usually pretty low.
You can go high, but they say you should,
Yeah, you
no
don't
one's going to go
want-
over 10,000
what-
feet.
Ugh.
Oh,
Dude,
high.
10,000 feet is super high.
I was going to say, that's higher than
Wow.
August. But the fact that you can,
There's a few that come by that ridge by my house.
Yes,
A bunch.
right.
Yeah. Between us.
it's just crazy
Yeah.
when they're over there. And I see it, I'm like, I want
What's
in.
the benefit?
Well,
Leisure.
Legacy, the park, right? So you have people that live over. Anyway,
Yeah.
we went golfing there once. Right.
Yeah.
They have a
we're,
place.
we're paying members.
Well, I mean,
Ish.
we were walking right next to that park. I saw someone taking off from there.
Oh, really?
So he went to that park. Yeah, he just laid out his parachute and then he just turns on the fan and runs.
Yeah, but what's the benefit of that?
You don't have to drive out to Nampa to the airport to get going. It's pleasure.
How
pure
long
pleasure.
does
Yeah,
it
pleasure.
last?
It can go 3 hours.
3 hours.
Because you're not using it to travel.
No.
Could you
No.
go to Mountain Home?
No, I
No,
mean,
that's
so
too
it's at
slow.
3 hours. I mean, normally they're 25 miles per hour, maybe 50.
Okay.
So yeah, like I was doing the math. If you went up to Bogus, it's going to take you
A little bit.
That'll take you a little bit.
And if there's a headwind, you're
There's
in a
a
tough spot.
headwind, right?
But you
I was
don't have
just
to deal with the windy roads.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, you can just land at Harpo's, fill up with gas.
Cascade.
You're like, we're coming
Go to
in.
Cascade. If you're trying to go to Mountain Home and you end up in Cascade,
Well,
you're
I'm
in a
going
tough
to
spot. Okay. I don't know. Yeah.
But
Yes.
I'm just saying that doesn't sound fun. to
I
you?
like no. There's like personal transport drones that look so awesome to me. And even have you guys seen the Iron Man suits that people like the jetpacks?
No, but this sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome because they like have the 2 stabilizers on their
Yeah.
hands and the jetpack on their back, and they're like, and then they're going.
Huh. And that's real. People are doing it.
Oh yeah, and they have like F1 races even.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like you think that so many people, if they're doing that downtown, would just splat into buildings and just like
They would.
Yeah. Like,
There's no doubt.
That would happen.
Yeah.
and they're like, wow, this is how birds feel when you're hitting the windows and stuff.
The window was too clean. I just
I couldn't see it.
smacked into
And
it.
they're like, what are you doing? This like outline silhouette of a human.
Slides down.
They're like, oh, they've got like
Windshield
10
wiper.
people.
They get the wiper wiping it off.
There should put some stickers on this window.
Oh, dang it.
What would you guys say is the top 10 of most dangerous recreational activities? Like paragliding or hang gliding or skydiving,
What is
what's
it?
the number one?
Base jumping.
base jumping?
Bungee
You have a parachute,
jumping.
though, right?
Anything with a parachute?
Number one, I put it into ChatGPT to kind of rank them. I
Oh,
put
you
in
did?
11 different things.
Okay. And?
I had free solo in there climbing.
Oh, yeah.
And that took top. And can you think of anything more dangerous than,
No.
like, besides being like ridiculously dumb, right? Besides like crazy, stupid stuff.
reckless
Yeah,
negligence.
reckless, right? Obviously,
I'm trying to think.
free solo is pretty stupid.
Climbing a mountain without a rope, and then climbing a mountain with a rope. Is that also on there? Or
I
did
didn't
you
put that on there, but I should have.
Are we guessing the 11 items, or are we just
I'm just-
thinking anything out there?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything more dangerous. That I mean,
I would think like cliff diving. depending on
Experimental
how high you
piloting.
go.
Cliff diving is a good one.
We did some experimental piloting when we tied the sheet to the backpack on my trampoline.
We jumped off his house with a sheet onto the tramp.
like a parachute.
Yeah.
Like it's like you made a parachute guy, but you're the guy.
Yeah.
We had a soft
Windsuit.
landing.
I put windsuit in there. Like,
Oh,
you know,
dude, you
windsuit.
got
it was
it.
like
That's-
third. I can't remember what I had it for number 2. But
like
it
the
was
squirrel suit.
the squirrel.
Okay.
That's pretty
Flying
dumb, right?
squirrel.
Now, what's cliff diving?
Like just like if
Jumping
you're
off a cliff into water.
like in
Yeah.
Acapulco, they have like those high.
Yeah, if you
divers.
so you're saying if you go crazy high,
Yeah.
because like 70, even 70 feet, that's kind of scary. 100 feet, still scary, but doable.
What about like drag racing?
I put
or-
motocross in there. That was number 2 actually. It was motocross.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, that makes sense. Even though it's done like pretty common. That's
Yeah.
normal sport.
Dude, I-
Sword swallowing.
Was it on there?
I didn't put it on the list.
That's too bad.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very excited about personal transport.
Alright.
And it's like it almost makes you wonder if all of my kids will get a driver's license.
Yeah,
That advanced.
that's a good question. Yeah, because you think about Paxton.
We have 10 years.
What is he? He's 5.
16.
He's 6.
He's 6. Yeah. So you figure
Years.
9 to 10
I
years.
think he's still gonna need a license. I don't think it's gonna be widespread enough in 10 years.
Right.
I think it's gonna be more. I think it's in 10 years. I think we see it in Boise.
whatever that innovation is.
I think we see those San
2000
self-driving public transportation. Maybe some people own some.
In 2032. 33.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Set a reminder.
Set a reminder. Have the Google avatar
Let's see here.
robot person. You know what innovation?
Remind me to check on if we have self-driving vehicles fully in 10 years.
You know what innovation I'm really excited for? You didn't actually send it. You didn't send it. You know what innovation I'm actually excited for? A personal, like a home assistant robot that can clean.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually very excited
Do
for that.
laundry.
Do laundry and do dishes and clean up. in
Move
general.
around.
Moving around, doing dishes
I
and
think
stuff
it's gonna
like
be
that.
a better dishwasher. I think that mechanics of you have to have some like mechanical arms going in there.
Well, there's a lot of servos and a lot of moving joints and parts.
That's a lot though.
I'm excited for
Hey,
that.
quantum
I think we'll get there.
quantum
Quantum computing, Jordan, shut up.
Yeah, it's 2
Craig,
words.
you're
It's
stupid.
easy.
AI stands
Okay,
for artificial.
I think you should set a
Machine
reminder
learning.
to come around.
Yeah, get another
to the
line.
times.
My cleaning robot's gonna go over there and kick your.
Okay. How about this? Number one innovation in the next 5 years, my prediction here is going to be language, the Chat GPT and the Google Assistant
Okay.
and the Echo, because now
Wait,
you have
like
to-
language translation?
No, not just translation. I'm just saying anything. Right now, you ask your Google Assistant, "Hey, remind me to do this." 50% of the time, it's garbage, right? It's like I didn't hear you,
Yeah.
or it doesn't understand context. If you had ChatGPT in there, piece of cake to ask it anything, and it's gonna do a lot better. job.
What's a bigger innovation? Language translation, like instant language translation between two people.
There's no barriers.
There's no barriers, communication barrier, or a cleaning or a personal assistant robot.
What would I rather have, or which one's more?
Which one's a bigger
I'd rather have
innovation?
a
More
personal
world
robot.
world
For me?
impacting. World impacting.
Oh.
How big is language? It doesn't
Because
feel
if you had a cleaning robot, you could actually have that be a soldier. You could
Yes.
actually have that go down to and like dig ditches for wells in Africa.
So Bastion, he's gonna either do my dishes or go fight wars.
Or
beat
turn
the
into a tank.
exactly.
can
yeah.
explode
Turn into
you.
turret
Well,
mode.
once he
When your wife's
once
pissed
he
at you.
washes enough dishes, he
When
builds
you're-
up his old power.
When your wife's just like, oh, I hate him, and then you walk in the door, hey, honey, bop, 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 bop.
That's right.
And the robot's like, I got your back.
For those that don't know, that's a reference to Overwatch.
Overwatch.
One
Video
or two.
game.
Yeah.
One or two.
You know, actually, there's some Overwatch shorts that make me cry.
Yeah.
One in general.
Oh yeah.
The-
Bastion.
like
one.
there's butterflies in it.
No, not the Bastion one.
Not the
Bastion
Bastion
one, no,
one?
it's the Genji and
Really?
Hanzo
That one's
one.
fine, but I think the Bastion one is. I
Very
cry
good.
more on the Bastion one.
Okay. What's a bigger innovation? Communication or personal assistant? A robot.
Ah man,
A humanoid robot.
For me, I'm gonna say personally the robot. That would have a bigger impact on me.
I wonder how bad language is right now. Because right now it feels pretty easy. There's so many Google Translate options, but you're probably right. It's probably bigger.
But what if you're in Europe and you have a lot more option to speak a different language?
Yeah,
And,
yeah. You're right.
like,
And
what
this
if
is why I'm-
every state in the United States spoke a different language?
right? And you think about not just for me, but I just think about knowledge transfer.
Yeah.
Then already the internet has made that huge.
Country relations.
But if suddenly there's no lag, everyone can speak what they naturally fluently speak, and I'm understand and what I fluently understand. Because how often do you speak to someone that doesn't know English very well, and their intelligence just doesn't come through the same?
Yeah.
Because they can't portray the same ideas.
So which one is it?
I want to pick communication. As far as bigger innovation,
Yeah,
now,
I
what
think
would
it
I
has
want?
more of a global impact.
Yeah.
Man, I just think if you have humanoid robots that do,
You're saying it by cleaning, right? But you're right. They could do a lot of
they
things.
could do anything at
They
that
mow
point.
the lawn.
They could mow the lawn.
I think more likely you're going to have the
they could do
self-driving lawnmower,
construction. They could do construction projects at a cheaper potentially price than what we're doing.
Now, what do robots? Now, we think the problem is like every single robot sci-fi movie, right? They're like humans, right?
Okay, but what if a construction robot looked more like a excavator,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think more likely
Or
we
like a
picture them as humans.
cement
but
layer or something?
I don't. A lot of times, I don't think they're going to be like you said. Yeah.
They'll be designed like tools
For the tool, right? For the job,
Yeah,
or maybe like Optimus Prime, where they could turn into different
dude, that's such a stupid concept. It's so dumb.
Transformers.
Yeah, the Decepticons are the smartest robots out there because they're like, oh, I want a jet, and then
Seriously, we're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a semi.
I'm gonna do a semi, or I'm gonna do a beat up old yellow taxi, and you're like,
Right.
what? Why don't you do the tank? Did you not see a tank?
Yep.
What are you doing?
Yep.
You're a Mazda, Miata. Like, what are
The
you
good guys
doing?
are like the passive.
You're so dumb.
right. They're like, I'm going to be a jet. You're exactly right. Yeah.
That is stupid.
Right.
That should have been what's my beef.
At first, I thought you were gonna say it's super stupid that these robots can turn into vehicles. I'm like, yeah, it's a TV show,
No.
but your point's good.
The type of vehicles they're picking, is it the Autobots?
Autobots, yeah.
And you're like, you are idiot. You're like a social worker version of a robot. You're just like trying to pick the least.
Shots.
Shots fired.
No
Sorry.
offense to our social worker
No
friends.
offense to and I love the social, but
What's
they're trying
your what's your wife's?
She's a social worker, but they're trying to pick the vehicles that are least offensive or least aggressive, and you're like, that's a losing strategy in a war. I'm just saying. And social workers are an amazing group of people, but not the best warriors that I know of. I should stop.
You're digging deeper.
I should stop. I'm just gonna go ahead and stop on that.
Yeah. All right, guys, it was fun.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Founders Podcast. Be sure to follow the host on Twitter. Search @JordB Hansen and @Brandon Minot to discuss more. Also, be sure to visit thefounderspod.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content.